What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another installation of Ride Review. My name is Tyson. Today I get to show you the Anza 750S from Monday Motorbikes. Now this is what we in the e-bike biz would call a mini bike. Small, compact frame. Doesn't mean it's lightweight. This weighs in at 72 pounds, thereabouts, with the battery, which is actually not too bad for a fat tire mini bike. You know, it's not something that is super fun to carry up and down the stairs. Now there's two variants of this. We have the 750S, which means we've got the 750 watt motor in the rear there. There is another variant that is called the 500S, 500 watt motor. A little bit less powerful, but you know, it'll save you a few $100 if you're on a budget. But I'd say go for the more powerful one because it is fun. No, the design of this bike, they're really going after the kind of the 1980s style cafe racer motorcycle look, which I think they've done a really good job of capturing the essence of it. It's got this just tough, rugged motorcycle vibe to it, both from how it looks and from how it feels. Love the leather seat on here, and it's extra long too, so you can ride two up, get some pegs down there, carry a passenger, or if you are very tall like me, then you can scoot back on the seat a bit. It makes it easier to pedal and just generally feels a little bit more comfortable. I do want to talk about like the size aspect of this, because I've reviewed a lot of mini bikes and I usually don't like them. Some of it is just size. I'm tall, I'm 6'3" tall, 190 centimeters for those of you using metric. And so mini bikes, I just don't really fit well on them. They're not as comfortable, especially when it comes to pedaling. But another reason that I usually don't like them is that a lot of companies just really kind of miss the mark with some of the design choices that don't lend themselves well to how a mini bike should be ridden, what people actually want to get a bike like this for. Monday Motorbikes, on the other hand, I mean, they crushed it. They understand the market. They understand how people ride a bike like this. There's so much I love about the design. All right, let's just kind of dive in and start talking about it. Okay, so one thing is that I like being able to fit on this as a bigger person. Some of that's the seat, some of that is the risers up here. So the standard mounting point for the handlebars would be through these bottom holes here. But they include these risers in the packaging so that if you want to raise those up a little bit, adjust the angle, whatever, then you can do that. So I have mine up and even just like a little bit forward, since I have really long arms, which feels a lot better than the stock position of it. So that's a great little, just small adjustment thing to have. These handlebars too, these are fun. It's halfway between what you'd call like a brat style or a cruiser bar. So a little bit sporty yet comfortable, which also helps it to feel really nice to sit on. You don't have any suspension, which you don't really need when you have these massive 20 by 4 inch fat tires on here. That's a lot of air in there, providing some natural cushion. And then you can lower the air if you want to ride on rougher sand or snow, some kind of soft terrain, or if you just want a little bit more cushion and comfort, drop the air pressure down a little bit. There you go. That is going to cut into your range, so keep that keep that in mind. Okay, another thing I want to talk about on this is actually the pedaling drivetrain, because I think this is one place where they nailed it, where I've seen a lot of other companies miss the mark. It is a single speed drivetrain. They do have this chain tensioner down here, which, since it is a pretty long frame, you need that just to keep it tight. We've got the guard on top, double-sided bash guard on the front chain ring here. So that chain is not going anywhere. And another thing to note about the pedaling drivetrain is that for activating the pedal assist, it is a cadence sensor. You can see it right here, sealed sensor, 12 magnets. That's pretty good high resolution stuff. But it is cadence. So if you know a lot about e-bikes, or maybe you've been researching them, you probably get the impression that torque sensors are all the rage. Torque sensors are better, they feel better, they're more responsive, they're more expensive, all the premium bikes have them. But it's more complicated than that. There are times when a cadence sensor is more appropriate. If you don't know what these two sensors are, let me explain them just real quick. So a torque sensor would measure the pressure you put down on the pedals, and then that is going to control how much battery assistance you get. But a cadence sensor is just measuring the pedals going around. It's kind of like an on-off switch. If you're cranking the pedals, then pedal assist kicks in, and then the level of assist is predefined by whatever your setting on your display is. It's not dynamic and responsive. But on a mini bike, this is awesome. Having a single speed drivetrain, having the cadence sensor, because pedaling a mini bike is kind of rough on your knees. You know, it's a kind of a cramped seating position. You'll see that when we get into the ride test here. You can't extend your legs fully. It's hard to put a lot of pressure onto the pedals. And so a torque sensor kind of sucks on a mini bike because it's hard to actually, you know, activate the motor by pedaling. You end up just only using the throttle, or your knees are hurting. It's not a great time. And again, we don't need a derailleur with a whole bunch of gears right here, because pedaling is not the main draw. It's not the highlight of a mini bike. Now, a lot of people that get them because maybe they are a motorcycle rider and they want a bike that feels, you know, kind of in the same vein, you know, or they wish they had a motorcycle but can't get one for whatever reason, so they're going for something like this instead. So, you know, being able to use the throttle, being able to have a powerful motor is kind of a part of the main draw. We've got the throttle on the right grip over here, half grip twist. So, you know, anyone that rides motorcycles is going to feel right at home with how that operates. And if you are opting to pedal instead, then you can get power and speed out of the motor without having to hurt your knees. So excellent design choices there from Monday, you know, really understanding what this bike is going to be used for. Now, the battery is housed under this, you know, kind of fuel tank-ish looking cover right here, which is actually you know, it's like aluminum alloy, I assume. I'm not sure. It could be steel. I haven't actually tried to give it the old magnet test. But that's where the battery is. So you unfasten these clasps. It's a little difficult to do with one hand. See if I can make it happen. It's one. So it does make it into a, you know, a little bit more involved of a process to remove the battery, but gotta have the steering column lined up straight there. That'll just kind of pop out, and boom, then there you go. Now, you do need a key to actually remove the battery. Just, you know, use the key slot right there, and then you can unlock it and pop it off. You can charge, or excuse me, check the charge while it is on the bike here. 840 watt hours, UL certified, using, you know, high quality cells in here. But this is a solid battery, and that's pretty good capacity for a bike like this. You know, I would expect between 20 and 40 miles of range. Kind of depends on if you are pedaling along to help out, or if you are, you know, just hanging out, juicing it on the throttle. Okay, let's we can round out kind of the rest of the components on here. We mentioned the fat tires. The ones on here are the Mission Command from V Tire Co., which they make awesome tires. Good puncture protection, great performance. These are knobby, but not overly so. So they'll be good on pretty much any terrain. You know, good traction, but not going to be too loud on asphalt. If you look on their website, they actually, you know, list some other tires. I think the CST BFTs. These are, you know, comparable in quality. Sometimes they have to switch things out, just, you know, based on supply chain, whatever. They do have the punched out rims, which helps to cut down on the weight a little bit further. Okay, let's talk the electronics, because this is another area where I think they've done an excellent job. So display mounted in the center, you can adjust the angle. I have it a little bit loose just so I could kind of play with where I wanted the angle to be at. Control pad over here on the left. I just hold down the power button, fire it up. I like this display a lot because it is grayscale, which means you can see it in the daylight. You know, direct sunlight, polarized sunglasses, whatever, it's actually visible. A lot of bikes are going for these fancy color displays that, you know, what good is it if you can't see it? Very precise battery meter at the top here. You know, 10 bars, so you get good precision on your remaining battery capacity, speed in the center, trip timer. You can see quite a bit of stuff hitting the I button on here to cycle through, you know, your max speed that you've hit, average speed, your remaining range, which it says that we have got 42, and I think, let's see, it looks like, yeah, that does update. So if I changed it up to level 3 assist, and now it's like, oh, now you only have 29. So it is actually aware of the level that you're riding in. Let's see, well, you can see your current wattage if you want to. I just want to get back out here to my trip timer. There we go. So it covers all the basics, got everything you need, easy to see. I love these displays. The light button right here will turn the lights on and off. Are they on right now? Let's see. I think I might have to hold it down. There we go. So we get our little light indicator right there in the top right of the screen. Very good job on the lights as well. So this is, you know, it's daytime right now, so it's quite bright. I mean, you can still see it in the daytime, which is a nice touch. And the bulb sticks out a bit, so you get a little bit of kind of a side cutout effect when it's dark, not really during the day. Helps to be a little bit more visible from the side, though. You'll note there's no reflective stripes on the sidewalls of the tires, but we do have the reflectors in the spokes at least, so that's definitely better than nothing. The brake light back here, it is a full brake light, so this is just the standard brightness of the tail light, which is actually bright enough to see during the day. You know, it is a little overcast right now. But then if I come up here and squeeze the brake levers, we get that little bit brighter brake activation mode. Nice safety touch. Very glad to see that more and more bikes are including that now. We don't have any turn signals on here. There's not any, you know, there's no horn or a bell, flick bell, something like that. So that'd be worth adding. You know, every bike needs something like that, just so you have an audible signal. Probably be like the one thing that I would like to see them add on here, honestly, is get a nice loud horn, just so that you can make some noise, get some attention if you need to. But then, you know, for the display itself, again, like, simple and easy to use is the name of the game. Level 1, use the plus and minus. Level 2, level 3. That's what you got. Now, the one thing I don't love on this bike is that the different levels will limit your top speed accordingly for pedaling and for the throttle. So if you bumped it into level 1 right here, then your top speed is about 15 miles per hour, whether you're pedaling, whether you're using the throttle. And level 1, the throttle is like a little, just kind of tame. It doesn't really give you a whole lot. And so this is like the one small thing I would love to see changed on this bike, is that I think the throttle and the pedal assist should be unlinked from each other, so that even if you're in level 1 pedal assist, you can still hit the throttle, get full power, go up to full speed. The reason for that is that, you know, a throttle is a good full power override. If you suddenly need to accelerate to pass somebody, to avoid a collision, whatever, you don't want to have to fiddle with your display to change your power settings, because you might not have that much time. So having the full throttle override, you know, minor tweak, you might be able to change that in the display settings. Like, actually, let's see if we can get in there. Plus and minus is what it usually is. Looks like that's not the case here. If you hold down the information, we're not getting it. Yeah, I don't have the manual in front of me, so I'm not here able to get into settings, but sometimes you can configure that stuff for the, you know, like linking or unlinking the throttle and pedal assist. So certainly worth looking into if that matters to you as well. What else have we not talked about on here? We got hydraulic disc brakes, 180mm rotors, front and rear brakes from Rush with motor inhibitors built in, which means that as soon as you touch these levers, that kills the power to the motor. Great safety feature, especially when you have a bike that's this powerful. You kind of need to have that. Kickstand is mounted rear on the frame, so that, you know, you can pedal backwards and not hit the kickstand. This is nice for, you know, doing some chain maintenance, moving the bike around in the garage, what have you. I also like having the triple clamp fork up here. You know, that's what you call this style here, when you've got your center stem column, and then they have these bump stops right around here, so that it doesn't damage the frame when it turns into it. The one downside of this is that your turning radius is kind of bad, which, you know, maneuvering it in the garage can be a little bit annoying. At least I love how stable these fork setups are with the triple clamp setup. One other minor note is that on the front wheel here, they're using a quick axle, or a quick release skewer up front, which this should just be a through axle. Like, it's for a bike that can go this fast, it's big and heavy. The through axle is just like a lot thicker of an axle in there, a lot more, I don't know, more stable versus the like smaller quick release. Of course, it is nice to be able to quick release, take the wheel off if you need to. All right, we're about to jump into the ride test. I wanted to get you a third-person shot of what I was talking about, just for like the fit of this bike, right? Having the really long seat, especially, because the standard, I don't know, like driver seating position would probably be kind of up forward right here, which still doesn't feel that bad compared to some of the mini bikes I've been on. This is a nice comfy seating position. When I'm at the top of my pedal stroke, my knees are kind of all the way up my chest. Again, I'm very tall, but on this bike, you have this really long seat, and I can actually like push back right here, and then it's much better, you know, not ideal pedaling geometry, but you know, at the downstroke here, I'm like almost extending my leg. I have this kind of like I definitely feel like I'm riding a motorcycle, but just the feel of this. I love being able to like scoot around on it, having the bar riser. I think it is a great fit for, if you're a bigger person, you want a mini bike, this is the one I would go with. Okay, well, without further ado, let's take it away here. So I've got in level 1. We're actually going to start off pedaling for now. Let's see, get out here where we can kind of have a little bit of a straightaway. So yeah, so I'm gonna just start out pedaling, and I'm gonna pedal lightly. I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure onto the pedals here. And you can hear the motor kicking in, my speed's starting to pick up. So even though I'm not, putting in a whole lot of pressure here, we're taking off. This is what I was talking about, how the cadence sensor works. It doesn't care if I press hard on the pedals, it just cares if I'm pedaling. And then the assist level is going to be based on whatever my setting is right here. I've got it in level 1, so it's getting us up to 14, 15 miles per hour, which is the limit when riding in level 1. And if I push a little bit harder, we can get up to that speed faster. But I don't ever feel like I have to push so hard that my knees are going to start hurting a little bit. Which is a big win for this style of bike. Now let's get on to bike path here. We're not going to stay on this trail here for too long. And we'll go a little bit slower while we're here, just because this thing can get hauling. You can get up to 28 miles per hour pretty easily. All right, so while we're still in level 1 assist right here, let's slow down and show you the throttle, because like I said, it is limited by having it in level 1 here, so it limits the speed, and I think also just the power of it. If I just hit the throttle, we're not taking off with a whole lot of gusto, not what you'd expect for a 750 watt motor. There we are, we're up to 15 miles per hour, holding steady right there. And so, it's a pro and con. I said earlier that I would like to see this unlinked, where you get the full throttle power in any assist level, but this can also be kind of nice to have it be like this in level 1, just because then it's it's a little bit more tame. It can be a little bit like jolting, or a lot to handle if every time you touch the throttle it's just like a whole lot of power. So I can see why you might want to set it up this way. Let's see. I'm gonna see how the cockpit feels stability wise. Mini bikes you typically can't really ride no-handed on, just from their geometry. The smaller diameter tires can contribute to that as well, and yeah, I can I can do it for a few seconds, but not a bike I would want to ride no-handed on, which is definitely not a deal breaker. Most people probably don't even care about that anyways. I have noticed that the pedaling drivetrain is a little bit loud. I'm not really sure what's going on with that, because it is it's a single speed. There's not a derailleur to be tuned back there. So let me give you a look and listen what I'm talking about here. And I'm gonna lightly squeeze the brake rotor here so that you can hear the motor. So that's just the pedaling drivetrain making that noise. Maybe something slightly out of alignment. I don't know. I'll see if I can fix that. It's not obnoxiously loud, but I do notice it. All right, we're going to try out level 2 now. I've got it cranked up all the way to the 2nd level. So again, I'm gonna start out pedaling very lightly. Like, I'm not putting hardly any pressure on here, but boom, we're accelerating, we're taking off. And if I put some more into it, we can really get some speed going. 17, 18, and I'm still only pedaling here, not using the throttle. Now there we are, up to 20 miles per hour. So 20 miles per hour is the limit for level 2 assist. And this is where the shortcoming of the single speed pedaling drivetrain is starting to become apparent. If you look at, I'm really cranking just to barely hit 20 miles per hour here. So there's no way I could pedal this up to the top speed of 28 miles per hour. Like, it's just, it's not gonna happen. My feet would be flying too fast. Now, I said that I agree with the design choice to have it be a single speed drivetrain, and I do, but I do think they could tweak it to optimize it more for the high-end speed, right? This one's kind of from the, a little bit smaller chain ring up here, kind of medium-sized rear cog in the back. This is set up more for like the low to medium end of the pedaling range. Makes it easier to get started pedaling, but then you can't hit those higher speeds just with pedaling. And so I would tweak this, maybe just like a smaller cog in the back so that you can pedal at those higher speeds. So when you're starting out, you got a 750 watt motor back here. You can use the throttle I don't think that you need to optimize for starting out just pedaling. So that's and the reason that I would do that is for how it behaves when you're in level 3. But we're not there yet. Let's stick in level 2. We're gonna do just the throttle, see what we can do. So hit the throttle from a dead stop. It's taken off with noticeably more gusto than before, and we're already past 15 miles per hour. And then, just like with pedaling, we're gonna cap out, you know, right about 19, 20 miles per hour, the top speed for this mode. I like how much more powerful it feels in level 2. Like it feels, you know, more zippy, more gusto, starting to feel a little bit more like a motorcycle. And we've got one more mode to go, which is level 3. So let's bump that up here. And now, you know, if you look on the underside of the frame right here, it'll say class 3, 750 watt, 28 miles per hour, which there's kind of a caveat to class 3 electric bikes. You're only supposed to be able to reach that 28 mile per hour top speed with pedal assist. The throttle is actually supposed to stop at 20 miles per hour. Now, it does vary, you know, state to state and sometimes even city to city, but that is kind of the most common regulation around in the United States. This bike can hit 28 miles per hour just on the throttle. Don't need to be pedaling. And you, like I said, because of how the pedaling drivetrain is set up, you can't actually get going that fast pedaling. You have to use the throttle. So maybe kind of blurring the line legally, but you know, I don't have a problem with it. I've ridden lots of bikes that are set up like this. It's a lot more important to just ride safe and ride in good places. You know, I'm not going to be tearing around at 28 miles per hour on a bike path with this thing, but you know, if I'm on a road where I want to keep up with traffic, that's pretty awesome. So like we did before, let's just kick it away with pedaling. I'm gonna pedal pretty light and easy, and we're I mean, we're really ripping out here. Like, over the speed bump. Like we're already up at about 20 miles per hour, and I just can't pedal my knees, my legs any faster. You know, we got to 22. That's about all I can do. I'm not even doing that much work. I'm moving fast, but I'm not really pushing that hard. But it just, you know, it feels kind of ridiculous to be pedaling like that. So here, let's get turned around here. We're gonna do the same thing, but we're just gonna take it away on the throttle. Let's hit it. We're already up to 25, and there's 28. Man, that is awesome. So much acceleration, and you're right off the bat from the dead stop. The amount of power that we get out of the motor when you're in the top level 3 here is just, it's so much bigger. Let's just, we'll do that one more time. Get up close on the display here. Hit it. Woohoo! Really impressive for a hub motor. Like, that is some solid acceleration. Okay, we're gonna do a hill climbing test here. We got a nice steep one to climb here. We don't have any, you know, insanely steep things where I live, but you know, this will give us a good idea for what the hill climbing ability is. Not going to pedal. We're just going to use the throttle, see what kind of torque we can get out of the motor from a dead stop. Here we go. We're ripping away, no problem. There's 15 miles per hour, and there we've kind of crested the worst of the hill, but you know, accelerating steadily up it, no problem hill climbing. I don't know what the torque output of this motor is, but you know, it feels like it's probably right about 80, 90 Newton meters for a hub motor. Pretty solid. All right, we are switched over to the chest cam just so I'm gonna try just doing some kind of extended cruising at speed here, which always feels a little bit safer if you've got both hands available. So I'm gonna just hit the throttle. I'm gonna kind of pedal to start out. Stop pedaling here just because my feet are going too fast. We are, I mean, yeah, we're hitting up to, you know, 25. Let's keep on pushing it. There's 27, 28. And it looks like, you know, 27 is about our sustained cruising speed. Try here, 25, 26. So yeah, we can we can cruise right here at 27 pretty easily. I'm a fairly big dude. I'm tall. I weigh about 190 pounds. Definitely adding in some some wind resistance here. Let's give it a little brake test. Oh yeah, great stopping power. Didn't even lock out the tires, and we still stopped in real short order. And do another one here. Yeah. Oh yeah, these are awesome. Here's another look at the ride position from a kind of a side angle here. So I'm sitting like all the way forward. So I'm straight up and down, which is nice, but the pedaling position is kind of rough. This doesn't feel great, but if I had a passenger behind me, I'd have to sit like this, or maybe I just have some cargo strapped onto the back. But then, I can scoot all the way back out here like this. So it still feels pretty comfortable. I can actually like stretch my arms out, stretch my frame out. Like it's a big fan of that. And then just to talk about the ride comfort on here, because as mentioned, no suspension. I think it's fine without it. Fat tires eat up a lot. The seat is really comfy, like very thick padding. I don't know if it's foam or what the material is, but it feels great to sit on. That eats up some more of the shocks. I've been hitting some speed bumps without standing up on the pedals or anything. It's fine. So you could even tackle some light like dirt, gravel, or maybe kind of like Jeep road type trails on this, and honestly it'd probably be a lot of fun in that environment. Alrighty everybody, well that is the end of the road for this review of Monday Motorbikes Anza 750S. As you can probably tell if you watch this whole video, I'm a big fan of this bike. I feel like they understand what a mini bike is meant to do, and the type of people that like to ride it. Really captured the essence of the kind of the 80s cafe racer vibe. Just really solid build quality and design choices throughout. There's a few kind of personal nitpicks, I suppose. Like I'd like the throttle to be full power regardless of your assist level. I think that'd be awesome. And then maybe changing the pedaling drivetrain so that maybe a smaller cog in the back so that you can pedal at those higher speeds instead of only having the throttle as your option when you're going fast. Those are pretty minor things. It's built great, it's got a lot of power, super fun to ride, and best of all, it fits big people like me. So if you're a similarly large-bodied person looking for a mini bike, then check these guys out. Okay guys, if you look in the description of the video, you'll find a link to the full written review over on our website, ridereview.com. So be sure and check that out. More details about some pictures of the bike as well. Okay, thanks for coming along on the review guys. Ride safe out there, and I will catch you in the next video.